Hello, my Astro family. This is Lada from astrolada.com, here again with another favorite astrologist from you, my friend and wonderful astrologer Radi from Bulgaria. And she will cover my favorite sign, my ascendant sign, and her ascendant sign, Aquarius. Hello, Radi.
Hi, Lada. So nice to be here again.
Thank you. And you've chosen the most important sign for this year because we are going to be having the biggest party this year, the biggest trigger of all signs. So this is not an easy job, I mean, that you've taken on. I'm excited.
Yes.
And it was so funny when we started first before we recorded. And I say, "Hi, Radi, how are you?" And she says, "So this year, are we going to lose weight or no? Are we finally going to lose weight or no?" But yeah, Radi, carry on. First of all, what do you think generally about the year for everyone? Energetically, how do you feel the year might be?
This is it's so diverse. It's so crazy because it seems like, I don't know. To me, somehow it seems like nothing much is happening, but at the same time, there's so much going to happen just because there's so much Aquarian energy and there's so much still Saturnian energy, even though the focus is going to be shifted from the Capricorn seriousness. It will be just very different. It will be very we will be required to be very flexible, I think, and open-minded, and at the same time try to stay within some rules and within some old-fashioned ways of doing things. But I think the great thing about what is happening in like the Saturn Jupiter conjunction in Aquarius and the square that's going to happen the whole year between Saturn and Uranus, I think this is the perfect time to learn to be in the now, to learn to stay present, because Saturn is the past, Uranus is the future, and when they clash, we have to meet somewhere in the middle, and the middle is now.
Wow, beautiful. There is one
So,
saying, when one of your legs is in the past and one in the future, you're peeing all over the present. So we need to learn to aim when we pee at the present. But yeah, definitely. Plus, it will create so many changes, this new Uranus energy. Even I started already seeing astrologers and psychics saying that they're already feeling the conjunction and they're finding it hard to pinpoint and predict because Aquarian energy is so unpredictable. And it will be fun to see.
yeah, but I think there's great future ahead, especially if people are open-minded, and especially if they are ready to hear out and to maybe think about some unusual things and some new things that are appearing. And I think generally it's going to be a very successful year for the people who are working with Uranian or with Aquarian energy in general. So
Self-employed people, people in our professions, people in alternative professions, people in new
yeah,
technologies. Yeah.
science as well, science and also psychology, I think, will be one of the main mm, topics for
Yeah.
this year
All
as
the
well.
people traumatized during the 2020 will need
Yeah.
help.
And especially for, I think, especially for Aquarians, because Pluto is in their 12th house, and Aries, because Neptune is in the 12th house for Aries, right? Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's really, I mean, the spotlight is on mental health this year, and living for the community as well, and taking care of each other, and being friendly to one another.
Finally.
Being,
Yeah.
yes, hopefully. And it's very funny because I had a conversation recently, this week it was, because I'm part of a group for electric vehicles. Here in Bulgaria, there is like one service that shares electric vehicles. You can just hire it for a couple of hours or 30 minutes or so. And I'm basically the administrator of this group. And one guy was saying, okay, can you leave the car like switched in so the other people that are using it can have it charged? And other people were saying, well, I don't care. It's the company's responsibility to take care of the cars. And they were fighting over being um, nice to the people who they don't know but still are using the same car or using the same service, or and the authorities that are supposed to be taking care of everything. So I was seeing this clash even in just a normal conversation, and I think this is something that is going to be happening, and people will have to understand that. I think this year was screaming at us that we are all together. We are all so dependent on each other. I mean, somebody in China did something and then the whole world was influenced. So we have to help each other, and we have to be good to each other and take care of our community.
And we'll start realizing this now, and we're going to start reaching hands to each other. So that's definitely.
Hopefully, or they'll have to anyway. But yeah, it's super interesting. I have written so much here, but I'm so excited and a bit like I'm always worried if I'm going to cover everything, if I'm going to remember everything that I want to say. So hopefully I will manage to cover everything about Aquarius, and this is your year, Aquarius. So um, everything that you have dreamed of can happen, but you have to take responsibility, because Saturn and Jupiter are in your first house, and this means that your first house is your the way you look, the way you are perceived, the way you go through life. And this the King's conjunction, or the major conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter is happening at the 0 degree. So this actual horoscope of this conjunction is your horoscope, really. It's like a co-horoscope for your year. And we can really read it as a separate person, and it will probably be felt by everybody who has, especially who has Aquarius on their ascendant. So yeah, losing weight can be possible.
Let's go. You're beautiful, Radhi. I love
you. But Jupiter is there, so it will be hard. I mean, there will be temptation.
Yo-yo.
Because Saturn shrinks everything, and Saturn makes you disciplined and responsible for your body or how you look. Whoops. And Jupiter is like, woohoo, let's have a party, let's have fun, don't care about anything. And it will have to find balance one way or another.
The early Aquarians, Sun, Moon, or Rising, the first 15 degrees, they can lose weight because Saturn passes mostly there. While and the later Aquarians, they have more of Jupiter influence, so they might have to wait for another year for that weight loss. Or it's not necessarily weight loss. I've noticed that when Saturn transits ascendant or Sun as well, people can get into getting the perfect body. I mean, you can be slim but flabby, so building up more muscle. Because I've also seen when Saturn transits ascendant, Sun or Moon, you start to lose muscle mass. And the best thing to counteract it is to start some weights. Definitely Saturn is something heavy to lift.
Something heavy, yeah.
Amazing results. Actually, you can build lean muscle during that period. So I would advise you not just go running like crazy. Do some, especially if you have the Saturn influence, the early Aquarians, do some weightlifting type of thing.
Yes, and also especially when working for legs, you should pay attention that Aquarius rules what are they called? The shins and
The ankles.
the ankles, yeah, and the back of the shins. I don't know what's the word. I forgot it. But you can build up muscles there mostly, or you can hurt yourself. So you have to be careful.
I when Saturn transited my ascendant 9 years ago, I broke my leg. So
Oh,
I don't want to repeat now.
hopefully not. Yeah, hopefully not. Um, and the good thing is that, I mean, it's exciting because I think there will be plenty of financial opportunities as well, even though we are expecting some sort of recession and some sort of financial, I don't want to say crisis, but adjustment. Because since the Uranus entered Taurus, and Taurus is the sign of money and finances, it requires us to to make money in a different way, to think about money in a different way, to um, just deal with money, and maybe even the money itself started changing because of people going away, taking away their money from the banks, and like using different types of services that are the fintech, basically the fintech part of the business is growing, and there's that cryptocurrencies. So everything that's if you are concentrating your energy towards these kind of businesses, and or using that kind of finances, um, there you can make calculated risks, but they will bring you good um, turnover.
Mhm.
So yeah, but it has to be a calculated risk, because there is that constant fight between Saturn and Uranus the whole year, and it's actually going to be mainly in your first and your third house. So that
Or
suggests fourth, yes. So that suggests it's more like a personal struggle. Maybe you will be trying to become more independent, especially if you're still depending on your family's money or your spouse's money, your mom and dad's money. Now you might be trying to become more independent, and you can do it as long as the risk is really calculated and you're not doing anything totally crazy. Because this can lead to actual bankruptcy. But again, because it's the first and the fourth house, these are more of personal struggles, not only in regards to finances and finding freedom in regards to finances, but also cutting the cord with your family, or with your mother, especially because from my point of view, the fourth house rules the mother and the female part of the family.
yeah.
So anything that can make you independent is worth the try, and it will be a struggle, and you have to keep your boundaries, um, and also be respectful to your family, because yes, freedom is great, but you should always be grateful and respectful to the people who have brought you to this world. So again, balance. It's always about balance, whatever we're talking about.
Mhm.
um, in regards to
Can I add something? Also,
yes, of course.
I was just thinking Saturn in the first and Jupiter square Uranus in the fourth house of family property. So you might start some big new changes in your life because, the major players are in your first house. So this is usually when you initiate with your own free will and desire something new, something big, and big new chapter in your life. That might two new cycles are starting. One is 12 years old of Jupiter, the other one is 30-year-old of Saturn. So it's not just a new page you're turning, it's a new book you're starting to read or write. And those new changes that you initiate, they can change a lot your way you live, which is Uranus in the fourth house. They can live your family, they can change a lot your family situation. They can change a lot your sense of uh, grounding and where you belong. And big changes can, the changes that you're making within yourself in your life can very much reflect on your personal life situation, which is Uranus. But also it can allow you to liberate yourself, like Radi said, from family karmas, family patterns, because Uranus cuts the cords there with the family.
Absolutely. Or if there's nothing like that happening, which is quite unlikely, but still there might be, other positions in your chart where it just nothing happens, not much change is happening. You might be just rearranging your home every now and then, like moving furniture, and redecorating, and also digitalizing your home. Nowadays, this is something that is getting more and more popular. So this is another thing that you can be doing. And again, it might also mean that you have to be traveling a lot, which is great news for some. Finally.
Yeah, moving to and fro, it's like you're not fully stable in one position, in one home. It's like, yeah, there is this energy. And that's what, because I'm Aquarius rising, that's what we've been doing since Uranus actually moved into Taurus. We spent half the year here, half the year there.
And it might, sometimes it might feel like there are little earthquakes happening in your home because you have to be changing, and if you're not used to change, this might be a little bit stressful, because it's very funny with fixed signs. Like Aquarius is a fixed sign, because Aquarius is known for bringing everything new, for fighting for the craziest ideas, and the breakthroughs that we have in our lives are because of Aquarius and Uranus. And at the same time, Aquarius is a fixed sign. It doesn't like to move. It doesn't like change unless he initiates it.
Yeah. But I think they have luck on their side, Aquarians, because they will be initiating it this year.
Yes, absolutely, because Jupiter is also helping there and making things look more optimistic, and they will be very enthusiastic. But also because, as you mentioned, it's a square from the first house to the fourth, so the initiation comes from me. The first house is me. I am going to do it, and the square is a very dynamic aspect. It's ruled by Mars, so it requires to do something. It requires you to act on it, and you're not left alone until you do something about it. So you will be constantly busy. And this is another thing, because Aquarius rules and Uranus rules the nervous system, and there might be a lot of times that you might feel like there's a lot of burnout happening because you're too busy and you have so many things to do, and you will be very motivated to chase after your dreams. Uranus makes you dream in a way that it's like not dreaming, because Neptune is dreaming, but Uranus is more like having the vision for the future, having the vision for the stars, aiming for the stars. And Aquarius is the sign of wishes, so you will be chasing your dreams, making them come true, and there will be obstacles, of course, but you will be so motivated to go over these obstacles, and you will have the power to do it, which is the most exciting part of it. And I know I know that there might be some problems in regards to the fact that Saturn in Aquarius might mean that we will be restricted in some way. But it might mean that we are just taking on more responsibility. And this is why we can't do all the things that Jupiter is excited to do. Jupiter is also going to be entering our second house for a little bit during the year, which is exciting because, again, it will bring more money. It will bring more opportunities, financial opportunities. And this is also an indication that if you are working hard and making calculated risks, you will be very successful.
And Jupiter is in the second house of Aquarius from the middle of May till August. So that's
Yeah.
if you've been putting strong foundations and initiating things and working hard on something before that, you're going to start seeing some rewards already then, the material.
Yes. And again, it's the summer, so you might want to go on holiday, but you have to work because Saturn is there in your first house. Another thing that I've been thinking about is that now Aquarians are going to be ruling the world. And Aquarians are all about being fair, being equal, being futuristic, being pro-human. When we go back to the different eras, even though we're not still we're not still in the age of Aquarius, but the process is happening and we are getting more and more close to it. And now that when we go back to the different eras, there has been like, for example, the Pisces era of our lives has been anything to do with Jesus, with of course with the fish that he fed the world with. And now that we are going to the Aquarian era, and the person and the people actually together, it's not going to be only one. We're going to be a community that's ruling, and we're going to be the humanity is going to be the most important. And
The value of human life as well.
yeah,
The human
the
rights, and who better to bring that. It's gonna be Aquarian people who who know how
yes,
to do it best. So.
and Aquarian people are supposed to be very clever, genius, but there might be some doubts about their geniusity because of this square between Saturn and Uranus, and they might have, again, I mean, they've never been understood fully, especially the more futuristic ones. But I think that if you don't feel that you know enough, now it's the time for you to learn. There's a lot of opportunities, and there's this digitalization of the world, and the information that we are now having everywhere, and we have access to any information that we want. We are not allowed to be uneducated. This is what I think, and I think that also Aquarians can teach people, and they can show people what is the clever thing to do, and especially with the square again between Uranus and Saturn. I think simplicity is super important, and I think geniosity is in the simple things.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we get confused, and sometimes we get too philosophical or too far-fetched, and we lose our thoughts and minds in some stretched out theories.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, I think simple is genius is going to be a topic of the year. And going back to basics, but with a twist. Maybe.
Awesome.
And Yeah, if you have been thinking, because Aquarius is a sign of energy, and if you have been thinking about working with energy of all sorts, this is a great time to do so. Starting from spiritual energy, Reiki, all sorts of mm, esoteric mm, topics, and going to electricity, really. Pure electricity waves.
Waves,
Also,
exactly, yeah. Any alternative energies?
alternative energies are super important, yes, because Uranus is in Taurus. I mean, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So mm, in Taurus, Uranus is trying to take care of Mother Earth. And everything that we have to do, it has to be taken, it has to be with the care of nature and of humanity, of course, and being more not too intrusive,
Hmm.
and not too harsh.
I kind of feel, since so many planets were in our 12th house in 2020 and even 2019, it's kind of, I felt like my battery has been drained. And now I feel like when Saturn and Jupiter enter our first house, it will be like plug-in time, charge up the battery, start going up. And I think because you're building a new you're building a new life if you're an Aquarius for many years ahead. And yes, you might still feel tired from time to time because all this energy is trying to reconstruct your body, yourself, also that the cells renew themselves every 7 years. Well, now I think there'll be total rejuvenation and renewal in the life of Aquarians, of the cells, of the body, of the around life, internal and external life. So the universe will send us energy, but we have to use it for ourselves and not give it away and waste it, because on how you build your house now, I'm talking about your body, your life around you, it's going to determine how, on what strong foundations it is for the next, I would say even 30 years for some of us.
Yeah, and it's also I was going to talk about the people who are now going through their Saturnian return. The people between the age of 28 and 30. Now they have to be very um, resourceful in regards to finding jobs, in regards to because this transition from the 20s into the 30s is maturing, and when you mature you have to take responsibility for yourself, and you have to um, find ways to present yourself to the world, and show that you are worth of being respected. And then there are so many people who are suffering because they have lost their jobs, and there are so many companies closing because of the situation this year. And now there will be new professions, and I think the Aquarian people will be thinking of different ways of working, and there will be a lot of new professions emerging.
Hmm.
And there will be new need, of course, from people, but especially, as I already mentioned, anything that takes care of people, of humanity, of being a human being. Because lately, especially with Mars being retrograde, with all of the other things happening and Mars being retrograde, we became sometimes very vicious and very angry and very lost. And because we were distanced, um, it just, the human touch is lost sometimes. And we have to go back to humanity, and we have to go back to being humans, and Aquarians will show us the way. Because I think the last time when Saturn and Uranus was in a square, no, it wasn't, it was, let's see, I have it somewhere here. In 1977 was when Chiron was found in the sky, and this is when Uranus and Saturn were in a square again. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So Aquarians know what it feels like to be an outsider, but they also know what it feels like to love humanity. So they can teach us how to get back to each other and how to get back to being kind to one another. So and Chiron is actually the bridge between Saturn and Uranus.
Oh,
And
yes, you're right. It's in between them. So
so
seems because Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius and Uranus is the modern one. So I think Chiron is very much connected to Aquarian energy. The wounded healer, that's how you bridge it. Yeah.
yeah, so they know what it feels like to be disconnected, and they know what it feels like to be connected. So they know how to get back in touch. And this is something that Aquarians will be showing people, and this is how they're going to be making them feel better. Um, there is in regards to your love life, things seem to be a bit shaky if you're already in a committed relationship because of the square between Saturn and Uranus, and because of either because you will have to be away from home quite often, or maybe something is not working quite right. So there will be adjustments. Probably the hardest part in regards to love is going to be at the end of 2021, because Venus is going to be retrograding then in your 12th house, and things might get lost there. And some of you might even find a lover. Some
Hidden,
of you,
hidden.
yes. Some of you might be just feeling like they need to get disconnected and they need to stay alone for a while, even though, to be honest, the whole year feels like there's this um, need for taking care of ourselves more than taking care of our family or our
Yes, the focus
spouse.
is on us. For us, like, okay, I'm done being sacrificing for you all this 12th house energy. Now, like, it's I need to take care of myself, and that
Yeah,
can put pressure on some relationships. So, also, if you're very busy building your whole new life, trying to find who you are and lay those foundations, again, that can distance you away from your partner. But if you have a strong relationship, even if there's some ruffling up, I would say do some changes, maybe relocate a little bit, maybe do something a bit different, not totally different, but like introduce something new because of this Uranian energy in your home environment, in place of living. And that can, stabilize the relationship. And with the Venus retrograde in the 12th house from December 2021, can be a good to go on an exotic holiday if you can, far away. That's 12th house
yeah,
is something disconnect from reality and go to an island somewhere or in the some kind of escape reality, maybe, if you don't want those kind of subversive influences in your love life. But we do have the North Node in the 5th house the whole year, which is love.
yeah.
It's romance.
And it's I mean, Saturn and Jupiter are actually trining our 5th house and our 9th house. So it's it's promising. There must be a lot of fun. And as long as we manage to balance out again. Because in our 5th house we have Gemini, and in the 9th house we have Libra. So we might also, because there's an eclipse in Gemini in our 5th house, so there might be there might be a karmic relationship. Um, or some karmic event in our relationship or in our love life that can bring us to another level of our love life. So there are opportunities. I mean, it's not only us, but we need to take care of us first in order to be able to be in a proper relationship. So
And with Rahu in the fifth house, I've noticed that people would fall in love with someone new and different again. Rahu is a bit quirky and rules foreigners as well. So Rahu
yeah,
is the north node of the moon that causes eclipses. So they can be, for single Aquarians, in the process of rebuilding yourself, you can meet also new romantic interests with this Rahu. And Rahu can mean someone also who's been divorced or someone who's a bit polluted, they call it. It's kind of
a bit dirty.
okay, who's done a lot of things that normal people won't do, but it's like an exciting and charismatic personality romantically, and maybe a foreigner, maybe from out of state. There's this possibility there. And it's fascinating. Rahu can be obsessive, so you can have this obsessive romantic interest as well. But in the fifth house, I would say it's also your ability for self-expression. It's almost like Aquarians are working so much on themselves. The first house, the fifth house, they're all about the self, the confidence, the self-growth. And I think amazing self-growth, and the ninth house is triggered by trines. This is all about growing who you are it's any kind of self-growth techniques, any kind of self-knowledge can really give amazing and fast results externally as well. Sorry for interrupting, carry on.
No, it's okay. It's very interesting. And what else do I have here? As I said, there will be Pluto in our 12th house, which can be I mean, it can be a leftover from the traumas that we have went through for the past couple of years, and it's still there, staying there, and it's still trying to maybe take out everything that we are not aware of and make it visible. And it also is for the horoscope with the conjunction, which I think is very important for every Aquarius moon, rising, or sun. You have to look at it. There is a square between Pluto and Mars is in the third house. So you might start realizing things that are dark and deep and uncomfortable and traumatic for yourselves, and you might actually start talking about it. And again, I'm going back to the mental health topic because it's super important to talk about all the stress that you have been through. And this combination is also, because again it's a square, it's very powerful, and it suggests also that when you decide to do something, there's nothing that can stop you, and there's a lot of willpower in this combination.
We've been going through that already, the whole second part of 2020, and it finishes, I don't know, when is that square? It's happened in 2020 already, Pluto square Mars.
Yeah, but now it's now it's the exact square on the 21st
Again,
December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Last.
So to influence again the Saturn Jupiter conjunction as a whole, basically. Yeah.
It's because Mars was retrograde and now it's direct, and it's
but it's not going to continue into 2021.
No.
Like
but I'm just looking at the chart as an event of the Saturn Jupiter conjunction. Of this chart is, I think it's very important for the Aquarian people, and from it they can take a lot of information.
I can totally agree with you, because something started happening. I had buried a lot of traumas that I was not aware they were traumas. I always used to think No, way worse things happen to people. And I started dreaming in the last 1 year about all those things repeatedly. And I would experience the feeling, and it was really disturbing and painful. And I started realizing, oh my God, I've been through such soul fragmenting experiences, and I've buried them. I kind of said, oh, move forward, tread along, you don't dwell in the past. And now it's been so cathartic, 2020, just remembering, actually starting to honor the traumas I've been through. And because the soul is way more sensitive, I guess, than I gave it credit to. And I started talking about these things because a lot of them I was hiding, because there was something I was ashamed of. My addictions, my homelessness that I went through, the horrible relationships that, and bad treatment towards partners that I did as well. And I'm starting to talk about it, and I'm feeling healing. And it's it's continuing, because we're gonna have the last Saturn Pluto Mars square. So it's like I really look forward to Jupiter and Saturn moving out of this 12th house, starting focusing more on the external than the internal. But Pluto stays in our 12th house till 2026. So we still have some subconscious traumas to resolve there. And I think they usually get resolved on their own by the time Pluto enters Aquarius. Will be all clean of, I would say, many lifetimes of trauma. And you can experience it through vivid dreams or through mental instability of some sort, but that's a cleansing process. So I want to encourage people that they're not going mad if you're an Aquarius, that it's something that it's actually the body healing itself and the soul healing itself. So flow into that process. But you have a lot of external focus from 2021. In a sense, you become way more active and focus on building a new life than just being in the imaginative world and in your own isolation type of energy with the 12th house that we had till now.
And even though there's that topic of the self, maybe conflicting the family, the roots, there's the father and son fight as well, because Saturn and Uranus are the father and the son, and Pluto is in Capricorn, which is a paternal sign, and Mars is in Aries, which is a very young energy. And there's that clash between our authority, and there's that clash between understanding the wisdom of our fathers, but then they should also let us do our thing and bring on the new energy, and let us be the brave, crazy ones. So there is that as well. I mean, there's a lot of trauma to be resolved from our family and from our roots, both from our father lineage and the mother one as well. And it's really worth taking care of that part of your life, because people just will be feeling a lot better and living a worthier life, more aware life. And Aquarius and Uranus, they bring the awareness. They are enlightenment. They're the sign and the planet of knowledge, higher knowledge.
I think, yes, definitely. I think Aquarians, and they bring awareness very fast. So I think a lot of Aquarians are going to have 2021, even from December 2020, like sudden realizations. Maybe they've been preparing, studying on something, or trying to change something in their life, and they just couldn't pass through. It's like, yes, they could understand it intellectually, whatever, but things will start clicking for them. And it will be like, wow, okay, I'm on the other side now. I've crossed that boundary. And there'll be a lot of boundaries that you cross, in a sense, that you come out of a certain level of consciousness into a higher level of consciousness, and you end with the past. That's what I see. Aquarians ending with the past on a massive level, and having sudden realizations, and suddenly being released from the past. Because in the last 2-3 years, a lot of Aquarians were dealing with the past, maybe thinking about it, consequences from it, seeing results from past actions, being stuck in past patterns, and starting to see that they have to let go. And now it's like cut off line. Okay, the cutting off the cords. It's a new start, new slate. And that can be very liberating for Aquarians. I know that, because
And,
Aquarians don't like to be stuck to the past.
and there might be, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm feeling some I don't know, I feel scared somehow, but excited at the same time. There's that feeling that something is going to happen. You're not quite sure what's going to happen. And it's as if running towards the end of a cliff, and you're going to be either falling or you'll be flying.
We'll be flying, Radi.
I
Aquarius
think we'll be
flying.
flying.
It doesn't fall like a rock.
We will be flying, yes. For everybody who is feeling anxious and worried and having the feeling that something is about to happen, there's a big change, and but they're not quite sure what it is, and they don't know why they're getting excited about it. Don't worry, there's the parachute opening.
Oh, I'm already feeling the shift of the energy. It's this excitement is starting to build up, and I was like a dead fish for 2-3 years. I was like, I can't clean the house, I can't organize myself. It was like this 12th house energy was like I was dragging myself, doing the bare minimum. I learned how to delegate, because I just honestly I was like couldn't cope, and I just wanted to escape and sleep and think and read spiritual literature. And it was amazing because nothing big losses happened. Yeah, I had one loss, but it's like, yeah, but it was nothing that I got traumatized, but I worked through a lot of emotional feelings. But it's kind of, I felt like as an Aquarian rising, or if you have Aquarius energy, sun, moon, ascendant, you feel great when you're chasing your goals, when things are moving forward, when you're doing big things, uh, when you're kind of involved. And we were like isolated for 2 years, three almost. A lot of us who have strong Aquarians, they, and for some of us for very good reason. For me it was babies, for some of you might have been responsibilities of other sort. But it was a bit draining, and it was, you worked on the soul. But it's like I can't wait to get out of this, a little bit of a confusion type of, a little bit of a messy 12th house feels messy, and I was messy, and I couldn't take proper care of myself. And I was like, okay, I'm starting a diet, okay, I'm stopping this, okay, and it's like it didn't last. But now whatever you start when Saturn and Jupiter in your first house, it will last. This time we'll stick to it. This time you will be like, you know, you'd not be giving yourself excuses. And it's almost like we don't even have the free will. It's like the universe will let's say give us this willpower to do those new beginnings. So don't beat yourself up if you are a bit of a dead fish in the last 2 years. That's how I felt a little bit, but I loved it. I needed a little bit of a retreat, a little bit of pullback away from, busy, busy, busy. And now we're ready to come out again and start again. Are you ready, Radi?
It's very exciting. Am I ready personally?
Yeah. Do you have any big plans for the future, or are you expecting to see what life throws at you?
I I had big plans this year, and I actually, to be honest, I have managed to make a lot of my dreams come true. I'm really happy with this year, and
Oh, wow. Amazing.
yeah, and I think I have made humongous progress, and there's a lot to be done. Of course, there's a lot more to be done, but still, I'm very happy, and I really needed this time off. I needed this quarantine. I needed the social distancing.
I
I
think
love
the parents love the quarantine the most, with the social, with everything in the 12th house going on. We're like, oh, it's so welcome.
And yeah, and I think I managed to do a lot of things. I didn't manage to do one of my big projects, but hopefully this is coming next year. We'll see. I don't have plans, to be honest, because I'm like still in this, oh my God, something's happening. I don't know what.
You have planets in Capricorn.
I do have, yes, I have Jupiter, Mars, Moon.
Okay, that's why you got a lot of things done because
Yeah, but they're in the 12th house, so
yes, but
I was,
Jupiter was transiting there, so it got you quite productive behind
yeah.
the scenes in quarantine, but you still got it done.
And
So
I managed to get ill twice when Saturn was transiting over my moon. But it wasn't that serious, and I needed the rest because I was overworking, and that's why things. I know what was going to happen, and I still don't follow the rules that I have to be following. But I managed to. I managed to. I mean, I am better now at planning. Um, as I said, there's still more to be asked for, but and to be done in regards to planning and scheduling. But I'm happy.
thank
Now
you.
I'm waiting for Pluto to go over my moon.
Oh my God. So you have the moon, Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars
No, Jupiter, Mars, and Moon in
in
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Okay. So yes, you had already a first house transit from the moon in 2020. So that's no, you used it well, and it continues this energy. You're gonna be continue doing big new projects with the first with the transit over your ascendant. So thank you so much, Radi, for
Thank you
joining us,
too.
leading us
I
through
hope
Mercury.
it was interesting, and I
Oh
hope
yeah, it
that
was fascinating.
I'm excited. I'm excited, and I think it will be a great year for most people. Of course, it all depends on your personal chart, but there will be a lot of good things happening. So get ready.
Yes, finally, we're coming out. And if you'd like to contact Radi, I'll put a link below. We're now doing the 2021 personal horoscope. Everyone is offering. So if you'd like to contact Radi, description below. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, Radi. Uh,
Happy New Year,
and happy
and
new beginning in life.
yeah, happy
Both of
happy new
us.
life.
Happy new life to all of us Aquarians. Bye bye.
Bye.